Authors have an obligation to make sure their paper is based on original, never before published, research. Intentionally submitting or resubmitting work for duplicate publication is considered a breach of publishing ethics. Simultaneous submission occurs when a person submits a paper to different publications at the same time, which can result in more than one journal publishing that particular paper. Duplicate or multiple publication occurs when two or more papers, without full cross-reference, share essentially the same hypotheses, data, discussion points, and/or conclusions. This can occur in varying degrees, including literal duplication, partial but substantial duplication, or even duplication by paraphrasing. One of the main reasons duplicate publication of original research is considered unethical is that it can result in inadvertent double counting or inappropriate weighting of the results of a single study, which distorts the available evidence. There are certain situations in which the publishers of two journals might agree in advance to use the duplicate work. These include combined editorials, such as a plagiarism case involving the two journals, clinical guidelines, position statements, and translations of articles, provided that prior approval has been granted by the first publisher, and that full and prominent disclosure of its original source is given at the time of submission. The main rule of thumb is that articles submitted for publication must be original and must not have been submitted to any other publication. At the time of submission, authors must disclose any details of related papers, also when in a different language, similar papers in press, and translations. The slicing of research that would form one meaningful paper into several different papers is called salami publication or salami slicing. Unlike duplicate publication, which involves reporting the exact same data in two or more publications, salami slicing involves breaking up or segmenting a large study into two or more publications. These segments are referred to as slices of a study. As a general rule, as long as the slices of a broken-up study share the same hypotheses, population, and methods, this is not acceptable practice. The same slice should never be published more than once. The reason, according to the U.S. Office of Research Integrity, salami slicing can result in a distortion of the literature by leading unsuspecting readers to believe that data presented in each salami slice is derived from a different subject sample. This not only skews the scientific database, but it creates repetition that wastes readers' time as well as the time of editors and reviewers, who must handle each paper separately. Further, it unfairly inflates the author's citation record. There are instances where data from large clinical trials and epidemiological studies cannot be published simultaneously, or are such that they address different and distinct questions with multiple and unrelated endpoints. In these cases, it is legitimate to describe important outcomes of the studies separately. However, each paper should clearly define its hypothesis and be presented as one section of a much larger study. In summary, duplicate publication and salami slicing are unacceptable practices and should be avoided at all costs, as it can give an unfair advantage to some scientists. By increasing the number of publications they can list on their resume, scientists and researchers can progress faster in their careers or receive more funding than they actually merit. Additionally, salami slicing also leads to a waste of time for readers and reviewers as they have to go through repetitive content. It also leads to distortion of scientific literature.